Today we're breaking down how some of the greatest players play Inferno A-short and what to learn from it. Let's start with the best player in Counter-Strike 2 at the moment, Robs, and how he plays Inferno On-short. Rob starts by getting up here, and the first part of this jump has gotten super easy, but the last part is much harder, where you have to hit this edge. And to play short from here requires some players with you. And we can see Robs has gotten one player long and one player under him. The goal is for Robs to take the first contact, and he will be able to see over the short smoke if the T's throw it. And then the player under is anti-flash, so if Robs is flashed, he can swing under and save him. Robs smokes off mid early, and then he plays safe behind the wall. And as we now see, Robs is alone in middle, so this smoke is to stop any early aggression from the T's. And then he hides behind this wall in case the T's will flash and push, so he will be able to hear the flash and then peek. And most knows playing close to an angle is not ideal, but Robs does this in case the T push, he will be able to peek out, then can quickly fall back behind the wall, since he has no support from long, but has a player that can peek short and help him. Now we can see a player join Robs, and Robs can now go under the roof to only hold middle, while the other player can hold boiler. And the last player joining them will either be looking apps or long. A weird boiler smoke is thrown, and here we see Robs wants to abuse this. And we can see he peeks out of it to see no one in mid, and then he gives away his flashes to get flashed so he can peek again. FaZe starts to get ready for an A hit, since the banana players has gotten full banana control. We can see Robs looking into this wall to play anti-flash, so he will not be blinded by the flash the T's are throwing. And on the flash pop, Robs peeks out and here can get a kill. Robs this round starts from long, and here FaZe smokes bottom mid. I made a video about it right here. And here nades behind it and spams it in hope to find a kill or some damage. And then he walks into apps, and here uses this smoke to stop any early boiler pushes. And this is done since he knows from this match that the T's have so far loved to take boiler control. And the anti-smoke works perfect as Robs finds one kill, since some T's might think this smoke is done to stop the Molotov that the T's throws into apps, and might think that's all it is. After the smoke fades, he walks out to still be close to apps, but playing a 180-degree setup for middle. But it's close enough to boiler to be able to peek into it if he needs to clear it. And when to peek? Well, you need to peek when you hear a sound cue, like a jump up to apps, or some nades being pulled or thrown. And he's rewarded with one more kill and FaZe are up to a 5v2, so Robs wants to keep on pushing and here swings app to find one more kill. By the way, if you've been enjoying all of my content, why not subscribe? And if you already are, thank you. Now let's jump over to Jimpet, who plays short in a different way. He starts inside apps, and we can see Mouse are doing this since they have one player holding all of middle, so Jimpet in mid would kinda be unproductive. And this is why he starts in apps, and has a Molotov ready, in case he will be rushed, since you will hear it if the T's are coming, and then he jiggle peeks with the Molotov out, to not be caught off guard by the T's shift walking into apps. And he realizes apps is a lost cause. He walks back, but makes sure to clear short from balcony on his way back, and then he sits in pit, since pit will allow you to take some great fights to short, and in this position, more for the execute, and not to stop and execute, like you want in a position like roof, like we saw Robs do. Both of the A player dies, leaving Jimpet alone, and here he gets Molotov'd. And this might look dumb, but he stays in the Molotov to clear short, and this is crucial information for his team, that cost him 50 HP, and he can reposition to mini pit, and he wins the round. This round Jimpet starts by pushing apps with a player, and here he goes for this off angle to catch any T's off guard if they peek out of bedroom, but you can only play this if you have a teammate with you. And this setup is great. The T's will clear boiler and this will allow Jimpet to kill them while they are doing that. And then the trade from T-stairs will be killed by the second player in apps. After Jimpet finds 2 kills, he runs boiler and Molotov mid. Since Mouse has gotten full apps control, the next place the T's will come from is middle. And this Molotov is to either stop the T's from pushing or force a T to push solo into him or the long player. Floppy is more of a hybrid between Robs and Jimpet, as we saw Robs being the super aggressive short player, never going pit to be safe, while Jimpet is the slower short player that can sit in pit for half a round and more. Floppy? Well, let me show you. Floppy starts under the roof, and after the enemy flash, he peeks out, and here his teammate is able to get the kill in middle. And we can see what this does. Both short players falls back to site, since they now have gotten the man advantage. And this is done to make sure the trade mid will not find any players. And after that, they use some nades, and then they take back short with 2 players. Floppy starts by throwing this smoke that lands in middle, and this is done so he can cross from long to short if he needs to. And then he goes long, and here flashes for his mid player to peek to try and get an opening kill. And then he has no point of being in middle, since they have one player holding it. He rather goes to focus apps with this Molotov and peeking behind it. And then he just plays safe in apps and opts to save. Floppy starts on top of the roof, and here he as well plays anti-flash, so Complexity will have 2 short players ready to kill the mid-rush. And I love how Flappy always is moving on the roof to make sure that the T's can't predict where he is on the roof. Halstruck walks close to middle, and this is why Floppy now plays anti-flash, since Halstruck will take the first contact, and not him on the roof, so he needs to be able to trade. And here Halstruck dies and Floppy can find a 1-for-1 trade. Now we have seen how the best players place the position. Well, why is it such an important role to have? Well, A-short is the easiest place for the T's to take, since it links perfect with the split execute from apps and gives the T's enough control to just win site without the CTs being able to stop them before they are almost on site, so it's a crucial spot to hold. Thanks for watching, and here are 2 videos YouTube told me you would like. Bye.